everybody. Hey everyone, it's Wednesday. You know what that means. It's the breakdown. And today, I'm actually not interviewing someone, but I do have someone near and dear to my heart joining me. It's Jeff Messer.
Views all the time. We're just like and the intro now. We're like a real show. It's like
I know, right?
No more messing around. We're doing it for real now.
It's
Some really great interviews in the past month or so. Some great stuff coming up, and it looks like we've got our viewership is growing and growing and growing. I'm so glad that we manufactured this conspiracy hoax of a worldwide virus so that we could trap everyone at home and make them watch our shows.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Now they're all hungry for content, and we're going to feed them.
Yes.
So yeah, good work you've been doing lately.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How's life treating you as far as the staying at home with the family goes?
At first it was fun and cute, and I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna be organized. And now it's just controlled chaos. I'm like, I've given up. I don't care. Like, I drink Baileys in the morning to get me through.
Yes. Vodka and tonics right here.
This is so water in here. Water.
Oh, it's not water. No, it's very much like Gremlins. They're okay for the first few hours. They're cute and cuddly, but when the sun goes down and they get wet, forget about it.
Dude, for real. How are you holding up?
Yeah, they're reasonably good. We're doing the homeschooling thing with the kids who are at least old enough now that they're either convincing when they lie to us and say they've done all of their schoolwork, or they're self-starters and they're doing it on their own. But it's allowed me to catch up on reading. I've been reading a lot of stuff, going into the old long boxes and finding obscure things. I've also made the horrible fatal mistake of wondering, hey, those books I've been looking for, I wonder if they've got them on eBay and they're a really good price. So there's been a little bit of that going on too.
You've gone down the eBay rabbit hole. I'm guilty of Amazon. I am an Amazon.
Oh yeah. Hey, look, we are helping keep the United States Postal Service viable and functioning during
exactly.
So yeah, it's all good because we've been without new comics.
I know.
It's oh my God. Well, you interviewed Sean McArdle, my buddy, Fuhrer and the Tramp.
Yes.
His partner John Judy. Their book issue #1 came out on the last week of new comics.
I know.
That's how long ago it's been.
Yeah. And it's so weird not being able to go to the comic store to get my new comics. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do when they open up. I'm going to debt, I guess, because I'm comics.
I went yesterday and supported one of my local shops here. The easing restrictions in the age of COVID-19 are kind of a mixed bag, and it's sort of a case by case, county by county, state by state sort of thing. But one of the small shops that's been in Asheville for 40 years, one of the oldest, I think the oldest comic store in Asheville, they were doing curbside pickup. Not that anything new was coming in, but you could get trade paperbacks. You could get some of those back issue things.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of the shops, I will say, a lot of the shops have been doing that, and that's been a smart move for them. But of course, DC Comics shipped a couple of books a couple of weeks ago or last week. I forget. Time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right? Time is so weird now.
Yeah, so strange. But there have been a few new things coming along, and even more. Diamond is about to get back up and running. If you're a follower of any particular book, check the dates, because books that were due out in March are now coming out in June, and everything is moving around. It's going to be a little chaotic for a while, but I think new stuff is on the way really, really soon. And super excited. Our friends, though, sending out big shout out and big thoughts. Jack just threw up a picture from Heroes Aren't Hard to Find in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte is huge, a major city in the United States, a major hub of activity and travel and everything else. They're also now one of the top 10 next hotspots for COVID-19. I saw a number that was just staggering to me. I think 268% increase in diagnosed cases uh, over the
That's
past
crazy.
week, 10 days or so. So we know, and I know you and I were talking off camera before we started. We all keep track of what Heroes is doing. Of course,
Hmm.
the con is canceled this summer, which is heartbreaking for us because we were looking forward to shooting season 2 of Issues With there. And I know a lot of people are really sad that the convention's not happening this year, but erring on the side of caution. I mean, they've got to
Yeah,
play. And Heroes, the store, is they're going to remain closed because the
mhm,
city that they're in is a specific hotspot.
yeah. I commend them for that. It's
Yeah,
bittersweet, you know what I mean? Like I have Heroes was actually the first convention I went to when I moved out here to North Carolina. I had never been to a convention.
yeah,
And then it was the first place that welcomed my high-heeled gamer persona and helped me develop, what my brand is today.
yeah.
So it was kind of bittersweet, but I do appreciate that they are thinking of the public and not of the bottom line.
Yeah, no, and small businesses like comic shops. One of the first things when this all started was a lot of comic fans were saying, "Oh no, this
Yeah.
could kill the industry." But I think fans are going to support and have been supporting
Mhm.
comic shops, even though they don't have new books or haven't had new books for about 2 months now.
Yeah.
It's these are frustrating times, and the convention's not happening. Hopefully, people who are saving all of their money that they would spend on art prints and toys and original artwork at conventions are reaching out to the artists direct,
Yeah.
and are actually reaching out to comic shops and buy those back issues. Hey,
Mhm.
instead, you're not going to get to spend $1,000 at Heroes Con this summer, but I bet you could spend $1,000 worth of uh, money at
Yeah.
Heroes and get some of those back issues. Get some of those key issues that you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I could never pay $300 for issue 1 of this comic. Now you can.
Yeah,
Now is the perfect
exactly.
time. Yeah, and I have on eBay and other places too. I've gone looking for things that I've been like, in normal circumstances I would say, oh, that's too much to pay, but now I'm going, you know what, this is helping other people who are out there struggling and making difficult choices in this age of commerce. A lot of comic shops on eBay, a lot of comic shops, they're listing their stuff on eBay. Support them any way that you can, for sure. Conventions, of course, taking a big hit. San
Yeah.
Diego Comic Con being the one that canceling led everybody else to start realizing we're gonna have to cancel too.
Yeah.
And we'll keep people posted on this. San Diego Comic Con is going to do something virtual
Hmm.
this year, and the Eisner Awards are still happening. Um, you know, thank God I was there last year because I would be so disappointed
I know.
this year. But they're still going to do the Eisners remotely, and they're still going to do something based around the convention scene. Obviously, the people in the atmosphere not going to be there, but
Yeah.
we're living in a Zoomerific world now,
Oh, yeah,
or
we are.
Be Live TV world.
Yes.
Yeah, and I see. It looks like we got a listener, George, saying we'll get through this. Absolutely, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100. Oh, we will, but it's I don't know how much of it is. I think it's gonna definitely be a new normal.
Yeah,
It won't be the same as it was before. Because you have people who realistically were already paranoid people, were already germaphobes, and this has as I personally know a couple of friends that have been seriously affected by this, and
mm,
I kind of worried for their state of mind. So,
right.
and I mean, yeah,
There we
yeah, pretty
go.
much. And I mean, it's
There is that fear out
understandable.
there, right? Yeah,
Yeah, it's under to it. Well, yeah, it's understandable because it's something new, something
yeah, yeah.
nobody's
No,
ever gone
this is
through.
unknown, and people are panicked.
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, I can't wait till we find that new normal because I do worry about
That's right. Just hey, folks,
businesses.
when you go out, wear your masks and gloves, and just be as
Mhm.
safe as you can.
Yeah,
Be safe and
exactly.
smart. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Best of luck to everybody that's going through it out there. Wherever you are. I mean, North Carolina, we are in reopening phase 1 for a couple
Yeah.
of weeks, which then, based on success or lack of success, could lead us to phase 2 or reverse us back.
Yeah.
Just everybody's got to chill. Stay frosty out
Yeah.
there. This is out of your control. This is out of your control. That's
It's just weird to hear you say "stay frosty" because that's what I say when I'm playing video games and I hear like an enemy coming. I'm like, "Stay frosty, guys." That's what
I'm channeling that from Aliens, the movie Aliens. Is that where you got it?
Yeah.
So there's a deep pull for you, for everybody out there. There's something funny though. If people check out the Issues With Facebook page, I threw an article up there today. I just saw this, MSN.com, picked it up from a local paper here. One of the comic shops here in town, Morgan's Comics, there they are. They've got the big Batman painted on the side of the building. I've got my picture in front of it. Everybody in Asheville that's a geek has gotten their picture taken in front of that Batman. And I'm one of them. But this is Morgan's Comics. She was an employee at this comic store, and when it fell on hard times, she bought it. She bought the store and took it over.
Oh wow!
She has turned it into, a nerd sanctuary, is what she calls it. She has organized for Thanksgiving for the past several years, people who don't have places to go to do a potluck Thanksgiving at the store.
Oh wow!
She's done so many great things for the nerd community, the people who are fringe, disenfranchised, or feel kind of left out. She's been great for that, and I love stopping into her store. Super friendly, always great conversation, very bubbly. Well, she had this great idea, and I think this is brilliant. This is getting a lot of coverage in the news now. People can order from the store back issues and whatnot, and she and her partner there will deliver it, and they've even turned it into a singing telegram delivery service for comic books.
That's cute.
Yeah. There's a video that goes with the article too, so check it out. It's pretty sweet, and it shows you. And I think George saying we'll get through this. It kind of proves that there's a spirit to overcome that I think people have, and we'll absolutely get through this. And it's because of people like Morgan and her store, and a lot of the others out there who are continuing to support their customers and their fans, and keeping it alive. So good for them. Good for them. And I think Jack's trying to stream some of the video footage there from Morgan's comic shop. Anyway, it's really cool stuff. So good.
Yeah, it is. That is pretty cool. I'm glad she's doing that, keeping a nice little fun spin to all of this.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And usually, you can see her in the picture. Usually her hair is dyed multiple colors, including like purple and things like that. So,
that's fun.
And the turtles, they painted the turtles on the back of the building too. So here we go. There's some imagery right there of them doing a delivery at the door, doing a little song and dance. I mean, how awesome is that?
It's super cool. Like that's I love that they're wearing the capes too.
Exactly. And I hope that little kid is not reading an inappropriate comic book. There's some mature readers comics out there. But that's some really, really cool stuff. But I was super excited to get back to my store yesterday, even though it was just a brief stop. And I was shocked when I walked in and he was like, "Hey, you got something in your bag?" I was like, "What?" I'm not used to that. I'm not used to anything new coming out.
Yeah. So, did it feel like Christmas? Like, oh my God, I got a gift.
It did. And I've been posting 13th Dimension website. They do a weekly new releases on this day in a previous year, like in 1970, whatever it was, or what, so there's some really fun stuff. And funnily enough, going to the store yesterday, Pastimes here in Asheville, was like Christmas 1977, because they had the facsimile edition of this comic, which is the first appearance of the Huntress. Yeah.
Wow.
And of course, the facsimiles priced at $4.99. These have even all the original ads in them.
Wow.
So these are just like reproduced from the originals. I love this here. This is the middle spread. You're not old enough to remember this, Kat, but maybe Jack is. But here's the middle spread. This was when the TV networks would advertise their Saturday morning cartoons in the middle spread of comics.
Oh.
Tarzan and Batman and Mr. Magoo and the Roadrunner show and all kinds of groovy stuff. So the facsimile comics have been a fun trend, and I got this one out of nostalgia because, and I want to share this. I pulled this up too because I when I was a kid I bought this brand new.
Oh, wow.
When it came out. So this is the the
Oh,
facsimile.
that's cool.
So I have the original, and it's not in bad shape as far as
It
comics go.
looks really good.
Bagged and boarded. It's probably fine, probably in the fine condition. But I was just super nostalgic for it.
Yeah, of course.
So I got that, even though that wasn't technically new, as it might be. But this is new. This was out, a brand new from Marvel, the big crossover that they're doing, Road to Empire, which is their big crossover that's coming up this year. It is funny because if you look inside, they have ads for issues that are coming out in April.
Oh,
And
really?
like, oh, the series is continuing, April to whatever. But that didn't happen. But this is like the big, Secret Wars,
Oh, okay.
this is their big Marvel annual crossover. So those were the two new comics that were out that I snagged. And I don't know if you saw this thing, this Walmart. There's a comic company called Allegiance that just put out 4 brand new comics
You said
in
in
Walmart.
Walmart?
Yeah, it's in the book section of Walmart, and they have their own little cardboard stand that these are in,
Oh,
and
man.
it's 4 titles. The Futurists is one of them. Bass Reeves is another. It's a Western, so one of them's
I'm
like
gonna have to go to Walmart now.
like Viking, gods kind of thing. And this one is a superhero called the Red Rooster. I haven't read this one yet. I'm afraid, a little bit afraid. But anyway,
Red Rooster. I'm sorry.
yeah, whatever.
That name is kind of like old school, like.
Yeah. But I did my, I did my shopping, going and doing the grocery shopping once every 10 days, and I rolled into Walmart, and there we go. There's the stand.
Oh, wow.
They've got it. So I rolled into Walmart, and I was like, oh crap, I wonder if they're out. And so I went back to the book section. I just grabbed all 4. Really interesting stuff, and it's a clever, cool way for them to market themselves. And so those were among the only new comics that were coming out, and it was.
I'm gonna have to check it out because my Walmart's a little on the ghetto side.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
does it have a book section? Yeah.
It has a book case.
Well, you might have to go to one of the super,
Yeah.
the big deluxe ones.
I might have to forward you some money, and you can mail it to me.
I'll hang on to them for you for sure. And I'm assuming that they'll come out in shops at some point as well. But I thought it was an interesting. This company Allegiance, they did a Indiegogo thing last summer for all 4 of these books, and I thought, well, that's really interesting. And then they hit their goal. They published them. Everybody that supported it got their copies. And then about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe, they said, hey, we're going to be exclusively in Walmart. And I thought, that's a weird.
I wonder why they went the Walmart route.
I'm going to be interested to see the sales figures.
Yeah.
The impact of the sales figures on being that commercially available. Because, when I was a kid, you would go to the corner store and they would have comics on a spinner rack. And you could get comics everywhere, not just a comic shop. So,
yeah, that's interesting. I do kind of wonder why they went the Walmart route.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder, did they approach Walmart? Did Walmart approach them?
Yeah.
And it seems mostly family friendly, PG rated kind of stuff, maybe PG-13. So I don't know. We'll see. I did a quick little review of 2 of them last week on a little pop-up thing I did on the Issues With page, and so I'll get to the other 2 this week, and they're coming out every 2 months. So the next issues come out in July. So
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now, what about you? What else have you gotten into?
In all honesty, so I ordered comic book masks for my son and I because he has doctor's appointments every Wednesday. So we have comic book masks. He has DC and I have Marvel. So those were Is
that a rivalry in the family?
I try not to do the rivalry thing, but my husband does. He was like, we are a Marvel-based family. And I'm like, we are a comic book-based family.
It's all good. It's
we
all good.
encompassed all of it. But as far as reading new stuff, I kind of caught up on everything. Yeah, pretty much haters are gonna hate. It's a true story. I was trying to find a picture of my son and I wearing the masks.
Oh, you got to
Um,
share one when you do. Yeah.
yeah. But you know, I haven't really been reading anything. It's just more organizing my library to see where everything is, what I have, if I'm missing anything,
Yep.
trying to figure out how to fill in the gaps. Actually looking at stories that I might have overlooked and been like, oh wait, I kind of wanted to read that and I never got around to read it. So let me add it to the list. Because my goal is to actually like go in with this list and hope that they have it, and then like comic book stores once they
Right.
open, and then whatever they don't have, fill in the gap through online. Nerd alert.
Yeah. No, that's totally smart. I've spent many an hour in my basement geek cave organizing as well. It's like this
Yeah,
perfect excuse. You know, you're stuck at home, you might as well. And I
exactly.
do on my phone. I've got like a running list that I'll just type in, this issue of this and that. So when I go to the store, I can pull out my list. And
I
there's
do have a picture. Oh, why is this wrong? I gave him the Marvel one.
yeah.
So, do you have a spreadsheet? That's my question.
Do I have a spread?
Look, I'm wearing this because I don't trust y'all.
Yeah. Jack's got a spreadsheet that he carries with him everywhere he goes because he's that kind of nerd.
No, I have a spreadsheet, but it's for my video games.
You gotta get organized. You know, use your Google Sheets, and then you can have multiple spreadsheets for each run. That's my tip for today.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough being a collector, and he's back out again. Yeah,
he only comes in for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. What else? I know people are starting to wake up to news coming from the entertainment industry. Movies are being put back on schedules now.
Yes.
Disney for July and August, I think. We've seen Mulan is coming. The New Mutants are coming.
The New Mutants was announced yesterday or today.
I think it's today. Yeah.
Okay, I know. I was getting ready to say I know I heard it today, but I wasn't sure if the news came out earlier.
Time doesn't mean anything.
No, it really doesn't, because I looked at the only reason why I knew today was Wednesday was because my husband had said something and I was like, what? Today's Wednesday? And then I was like, I texted Jack and I'm like,
Wednesday. Yeah.
What's happening? No, yeah. So a lot of people, Universal announced that they're gonna do both movie theater and at-home release, and AMC lost their shit. It's kind of understandable, and it's, I can see both sides of the coin, right? That's the saying, both sides of the coin.
Yeah. And AMC is now on the verge of being bought out by Amazon, which
I saw that and I was like, Amazon's coming to the rescue. Like, I would never have put Amazon to come to the rescue, but I mean,
well, Amazon has been making movies and they've been kind of working their way into that industry for a while. So I guess it makes sense that hey, why not? They've got the capital to do it. And of course, and nothing against, if any fans are listening who live in Texas or Georgia, for example, two states which prematurely started reopening in recent weeks. And one of the things that both of the states said they were going to be reopening included movie theaters. And I was like, what a bunch of dumbasses, because there aren't any movies. There are no releases for people to go see, even if you open the movie theater. Come on. I mean, what are they going to be showing? They would do better coming to us on Saturday mornings and now on Mondays to watch cartoons and serials.
Exactly. Oh, 100%. I agree 100%. And then they were trying to say that they were going to limit the audience attendance, and I'm like, well, what's even the point? Because you're trying to limit the audience, but what, everybody wants to sit in the middle. That's a thing,
right?
So you're going to force people to sit in the front, sit all the way in the back, sit in the middle to try to keep some type of distance. But I don't know. I just don't.
Movie companies are not going to want to release movies especially big, we talk about the Marvel movies and all these big, big movies that are like, we're going to make $150 million in the first 2 days. Well, guess what? If you're in a movie theater where they're like, we're going to have 25% capacity of our seating, which means a fourth of the profits being made, they're just going to hold off. They're going to hold off on those movies. That's why Black Widow is now in November. A lot of these tentpole movies are moving to next year, hoping for a better day because they can't open in 25%.
Exactly. Wonder Woman was pushed to next year too, right? Or at the end of this year?
I can't remember. Yeah, I feel like early next year.
That's what I thought.
I've lost track of when people push back to because
everybody's doing it, so it's like
and the truth is nobody knows that 2 months from now they're not going to have to move it again. So I think a lot of the companies are trying to prevent having to make multiple announcements every couple of months, and so that's why Disney moved Black Widow to November, and James Bond got moved from April to November.
That's right.
And so they're like, all right, we don't have to say anything else until October.
Yeah,
and that's that. But I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to the movies right now, just because I don't think there's going to be anything on the screens worth seeing.
And I mean, even the safety issue is still an issue because, and it's no disrespect to the people working at the movie theater because I used to work at a movie theater and I know how the cleaning has to go to get the next people in. Yeah. They're going to have to Clorox wipe every seat because they don't know which seat the people sat on. So, I wouldn't risk that.
They'll have to move the screenings further apart too to give themselves time to get in and do a deep cleaning between every. It's just not smart and cost effective.
Carnival Cruise announced that they're starting their cruises in July, and then they're offering cruises. I think it was like some low rate, like $200, and I'm like, no, thank you.
I got an email from them, and I was like, maybe I should take them up on this, but November feels like a little early for them. Yeah, but
they said in mine they said July. Yeah, and I was like, no, thank you. That's why I pushed my Carnival Cruise to next year. I can't believe it. And I mean, I get that people are losing money. I get that people, this is their livelihood and they need work, but you can't risk the public and your employees' safety. I mean, think about exactly. That's pretty much it. You're going out to sea with all these people and people weren't sanitizing their hands before all of this.
Kids running up and down the deck, licking the handrail. Come on.
Exactly.
It's not to be, overly political or anything like that. But I mean, the one obvious thing that I think the whole world needs to do that they haven't done yet, other countries have done this to some degree, but it's just like, we just need to stop everything.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
No pay, no bills, everything just, it's frozen in place. No negative impact. If you, whatever, you don't have to pay, you don't have to do anything. Everything will be fine. You don't get your Netflix shut off because of lack of payment. So everybody needs to agree worldwide. It's like nothing is happening. When this is all over, we'll pick back up and then everything will be like normal, but let's just pretend that 2020 is just a nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually said we should shut down completely when they officially canceled school. Yeah. And I was like, dude, we need to shut down like completely because people are going out there and like it's driving me insane. Like people are going out there and their masks are down here.
Under there, yeah.
I'm like, do you even understand how masks work? I'm gonna be real. I had a panic attack in Lowe's because my washing machine broke. So we went in to try to, because we couldn't do it online conveniently. Right. So we went in and all these people are not following the rules and I'm wearing my mask and I kind of put it on a little too tight because it's the kind that you can adjust yourself.
Right.
And everybody's doing this. And finally I saw this guy, like his mask was covering his goatee, just his goatee down here. And then he sneezed and then he coughed and there was no coverage of anything. And I'm like, I need to get out. I don't care. I'll wash everything by hand. Like, get me out of here.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's psychotic. Even I have no hope for the human race left, because even when you go now, the stores are trying to be responsible by saying, go this way. Like, they have arrows, shop this way, and
nobody's doing it.
Nobody's doing it. I'm doing it, and thank God they can only see, from my eyes up, because if they saw my whole face, I would be just giving them the, F you.
Oh, 100%.
The whole time. Yeah. Just completely horrible. And to see, older people without masks, and to see, parents with young children without masks. It's just like the ignorance factor is driving me crazy.
Ridiculous. It's so crazy what you see out there. And then you're like, am I in the movie? What is it? Idiocracy? I could never have said it.
Idiocracy. Yeah.
Idiocracy. Yeah. Because it's just like, are you for real? Like, I saw a whole family of 6, like mom, dad, and 4 kids. And none of them had masks, and the kids were super small. And I'm just like, what are you doing with your life? Do you understand what's happening here?
Yeah, it's very disconcerting. So I try not to go out any more than I have to, because I find myself, getting road rage when I'm like, why are there so many fucking people on the road right now?
Oh, 100. I leave the house once every 2 weeks to go grocery shopping, but I have to go to the doctor's, like I said, with my son every Wednesday. And that's not terrible, because it's just from here to the doctor's office, and everybody's, there's Purell outside, inside, in every office. So I'm okay. But going to the grocery store is terrible. And then I'm also shopping for my 2 elderly neighbors who have conditions that don't allow them to go out. So I'm shopping for them as well. And it's just like, oh man, I just want to get my shit and go.
It's harrowing. It's unnerving to a certain point, and I don't go out about the same as what you do, because I don't want to normalize, because psychologically people get into places where they normalize the behavior. Oh, I can just throw on a mask and go out. So they go out more. I try to keep it down to a minimal, plus, I don't want to be that pissed off at my fellow human beings. But these are tough times, everybody. And sorry, we got down a political rabbit hole, but stay safe, stay healthy.
Yes. Please be cautious of who's around you and how they're behaving. You can't control them, but you can control what happens to you.
Stay home and read your comic books.
Exactly. Watch your comic book movies, and then yell at them for not being accurate.
We've been doing a family rewatch of the Marvel movies. Usually 2 or 3 a week. So we're up through. We just finished Guardians of the Galaxy 1. This past Saturday. So it's a good excuse to do that. I finally bit the bullet, and I got the DC Universe app.
Oh, did you?
I did. Because I want to watch, Swamp Thing and some of the other shows. And it's pretty cool. So far, so good. It's pretty cool. Stargirl comes out. The new show comes out next week. And then we have an interview coming up with an actress who's a recurring character in the series.
Okay. Does that app have the Harlequin cartoon series? Okay.
Yes, that's on there. A lot of really cool stuff on there. I've enjoyed having it so far. I hate to say it, I don't think that it's worth the money, because they just don't have enough content.
Okay, gotcha.
But then this HBO Max streaming app that's coming up.
I know, I'm kind of interested.
And here's the thing is, I saw that after I got the DC app, of course, the very next day, I see an ad for the HBO Max app, which is tied to Warner's, who owns DC. And so Doom Patrol and some of the other shows from DC Universe are going to be on the HBO Max.
Of course. How convenient.
Yeah. So but I do think that the HBO Max may be the first step in phasing out the DC streaming app, and they may just go to a digital comic platform, which is pretty cool because they've got a lot of comics on there. But it's weird reading comics on your TV screen, like
it is
throwing the pages up on the screen. It's like,
we did the Star Wars marathon
Yes.
Until Star Wars Day, May 4th. So we did the Star Wars marathon. The only thing we couldn't do was the Clone Wars because that series is way too big.
And
So
it just ended too. They just
yes,
finally,
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So, but that was a lot of fun to do and relive. And we never showed episode 1, 2, and 3 to the kids. So they saw it for the first time and they were like my 9-year-old was like, this is crap.
It's so weird. It depends on when you catch them with but and whatever the viewing order is too might dictate it. Did you strictly go with a chronological release order, a numerical order?
We did. Oh, I forget what the order is called, but we did where it inserts Rogue and Solo into it as well. We did it. I think my son just didn't like Anakin because he knew Darth Vader already, and he was like, okay, I get Darth Vader has anger issues because I mean, what bad guy doesn't?
Sure,
but my son like so wanted to say that Anakin was a pussy. Like he wanted to say that so bad, and he just was like, he was like, but Anakin's such a loser.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
No. And I mean, but we still had fun. So, and we did a Star Wars puzzle as well.
Nice.
So we encompassed the whole May 4th.
See, it's so weird. It just depends on what your entry point is into Star Wars because my 17-year-old who is a huge Clone Wars fan, like, he was 5 when the Clone Wars started. So that was his real entree into the Star Wars universe. So being such an avid Clone Wars fan, his favorite Star Wars movie is Episode 3.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah.
Which is a good movie. If you go back and watch it, Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine in that movie really rocks that part. Like he's the star of that movie. And, to me, that's from a storytelling standpoint of the first 1, 2, and 3, that's the only one that's got any meat on its bones.
Yeah, agree.
And it's, and it is a decent movie to see from a spectacle standpoint.
Yeah.
But it's it has the misfortune of being the third behind Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, which are pretty heavily derided. So
yeah, I was just always glad I didn't see them in the theater and didn't pay the money to go see them in the theater.
I did
because I didn't. I mean, it's not like I hate them, but
yeah, I mean, it's a different thing. It's it's trying to do a different thing. And then what I love is, of course, the bitchy fans who can't be happy with anything that now who dislike episodes 7, 8, and 9. We're just like, man, George Lucas should come back. It's like, well, you shit on him for 20 years for episode 1, 2, and 3, and now you're saying, well, they made a mistake by not using George Lucas. Come on, no patience for those types of things.
Not even a little bit. So
because I enjoyed 2 out of the last 3.
Oh, did you? Which ones?
I enjoyed the J.J. Abrams ones. I enjoyed The Force Awakens, and I thought The Rise of Skywalker was it was absolutely the best thing that it could be, trying to finish a story and fix the ills of the movie that came before it. So
I didn't hate Rise of the Skywalker. I did feel like there were certain sections rushed.
Yeah. They crammed 2 movies worth into 1 movie.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's
Han
kind of
obvious.
Han shots first. That's a debate for another day.
Yeah, it's true. He did.
Okay. I didn't know what side he was on, but I went with the Han shot first as well.
He did, and then in Solo he did again, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Or did before.
But I mean, if you are an avid movie watcher, you can tell that 9 was rushed. But it wasn't as terrible as everybody's making it seem. And the whole Kylo Ren and Rey kissing, I'm just like, have you never had like a impactful moment that you're just like, brah,
Girls like assholes.
And I don't think it was more like
they like to date those bad boys that are irredeemable. They go for that.
You see, and I don't see it that way. I don't see it as she liked him or loved him or wanted him. I see it as oh my God, it was like a freak out moment, and she kissed him.
Well, and it's it is.
I've done
epic,
that.
it is epic. It is epic fairy tale storytelling.
Yeah.
On so many levels, and that has obviously Shakespearean implications, but it's a symbolic thing of he gave his life to bring her back from the dead, so therefore that was this moment that the two of them had as the last moment of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if you go back and watch it again, a lot of people complain about certain things in that movie that, if you really pay attention, make a ton more sense. You're like, oh wait, so was he good at the end of the movie, or did Leia embody him with her spirit until he could redeem himself for his ills, and then once he did and he died doing it, she died too, because they both faded at the same time. The camera cut back. I'm like, it wasn't him, it was her.
I know, that's what I said too. That's what I said too.
Yeah, because he was so not redeemable. But Vader was kind of the same way in Return of the Jedi. It's like, okay, he made a lot of shitty life choices, but in the end, he chose his son over the Emperor. And he had a moment, but he's not redeemed necessarily.
No.
But he made up for some of his ills, I suppose. But he was still a bad dude. He still killed all those rebels.
Yeah. But bad people can love too, Jeff.
Absolutely, yes. Bad people can love too. I used to be a fan of bad girls too. I know.
It was me, Jeff. I was the bad girl.
Yeah. I know the type.
You can spot me a mile away.
That's right. I can see him coming, and then I run in that direction. So, yeah. So, speaking of Star Wars stuff too, have you watched any of the Mandalorian documentary stuff?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It is so good. I hate that they're making me wait a week for each of them, but I am nerding out over. You could put the nerd alert, Jack, up there, because I am so nerding out over this, hearing all the directors talking and all the behind the scenes and how things are done. It's like, I love it.
Don't tell me what to do.
It's fantastic. A good director would know to do it automatically.
But shots fired! Pew pew pew.
But yeah, no, what a great, brilliant idea that they're throwing those documentary episodes up while we're waiting for season 2. Which, good news, fans! Season 2 of The Mandalorian has not been negatively impacted by the coronavirus. They apparently wrapped shooting season 2 like 2 weeks before this whole lockdown happened. And they're using Zoom and other forms of technology to remotely post-produce. We're in a whole new world now where people are remotely working. So October is going to be The Mandalorian season 2. People are going to be going nuts for that.
I'm excited because so I'm not a big Boba Fett fan, but I don't hate Boba Fett. Boba Fett is just one of those characters that's like in between for me.
Right,
but I think it's like I don't love him. I don't hate him. He was just there. But I'm excited that they're bringing him because I never went into looking if he had a background, what's his story, what's his deal type of thing. Like I get that 1, 2, and 3 introduced him and his dad.
A lot of people were saying if that's even him at the point of him in The Empire Strikes Back, because it could be somebody else. But now they're going to definitively answer that, because the actor who is playing Boba Fett on The Mandalorian season 2 is Tamura Morrison, who played Jango Fett and the clones in episodes 2 and 3.
I know. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know. It's like
but it permanently links it together, though. It kills all the fan theories.
Yeah. So I'm interested.
Yeah. And of course, Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars cartoons is going to be in live action now.
Rosario Dawson Yale.
She lobbied for that role,
Oh,
apparently.
100. Oh, she's been doing it for a while too. I want to say
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
She's been doing it for a while that she's wanted to play it, and hey, I'm all about it.
Well, and what a fantastic character in the Star Wars mythos that actually only exists in cartoon form up until later this year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so cool to see. And another, Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica was a voice of a Mandalorian character in the Clone Wars cartoon. She's going to be turning up in Bo-Katan. There she is. She's going to be turning up in season 2 as well. So
Yeah.
it seems like they're threading the needle and tying things between Clone Wars and the Mandalorian TV series in a big way, besides just having Dave Filoni be the executive producer on both.
Yeah, I'm excited. So interested to see where all this goes. So,
and we don't have to wait for it.
I know. Oh, yeah. Thank God for
some virus did not kill the Mandalorian.
Yeah. I'm excited.
But the crazy thing, though, Marvel, Disney, they're shooting a lot of shows, and Winter Soldier and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Snowman, whatever the name of that show is, was shooting in Prague, and they apparently had to stop shooting the season because of the outbreak. They're now investigating ways to go back to production. And this is some crazy stuff, but the entire film company would be signing on to basically live together during the entirety of the shoot.
Is that how they're doing it?
So they're going to self-isolate on location to film this TV show. The only people who won't be wearing masks and gloves and so forth are the people who are in the shot at any given moment. So if you're an actor and you're doing a 2-shot and the guy on camera is your co-star and you're off camera reading your lines, they'll require you to have a mask and gloves, even if you're in costume. It's going to be a whole new way of filmmaking, but that's apparently
I did not know that. I didn't know how they were doing it. Like, I heard that they were going to bring it back, like start it back up again, but I didn't know how. That is crazy.
The rules and restrictions to make it safe are pretty extreme, but if they pull it off, I think a lot of people are going to go back into production mode pretty quickly. It's going to be tough, though. I mean, think about that. It's like, unless you're on camera in the shot, you have to have a mask on at all times. And then, I guess they have to have a PA run up and take your mask and gloves off before they yell action. So, yeah.
They better have a case of Purell if they could find it.
Exactly. That's where Hollywood has been stockpiling all of the Purell and toilet paper since this thing started. Hey, my buddy Michael Lilly just jumped into the conversation and said Netflix still plans to produce 90 projects. Yeah, a lot of projects being announced by a lot of companies. Of course, everybody's content hungry right now. And when this thing is over, it's not like you can start filming on a Monday and have it on TV or on a movie screen by Friday. It's going to take a little time to produce and to make happen. So somewhere we may hit a giant glut where there's just like, we're being inundated with a lot of new stuff, but there's also going to be a giant ditch that we have to jump over before we get there, unless people start doing, and God bless, I applaud Saturday Night Live doing the Zoom thing. It took 3 tries to actually get it good because the first one was a horrifying train wreck.
It was. I saw the first one, the following on Sunday, and I was like, oh, they tried. I give them effort.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and the last episode that they just aired, and the last 2, they really got on their, they got their game going because they're like, oh, we can do more things digitally with backgrounds and create it so that it looks reasonably more like the real set, the real environment. But Parks and Rec doing a scripted episode. And people are finding a way.
Community did it too.
Yeah. Creative people always will find a way. And we'll see. And Michael pointing out as well, going to countries where the virus is more under control. Yeah, I hate to say it, but Atlanta being the center of production, as it has been for so many years now, may lose that status because Georgia is a smoking hot mess. with a really dumb governor. By the way, this guy, Forrest Gump. Looks like a Rhodes Scholar compared to the governor of Georgia, but he's gonna kill the industry if he's not careful, because these companies, as Michael's pointing out, may in fact have to go somewhere else. They may have to go to European countries where they're like, well, we did what we were supposed to do and we were smart, and now we're in charge.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see. Anyway, what else, Kat? Anything else exciting? We should try to wrap it up. I know it's like reunion time.
I know, right? Sadly, I wish there was something exciting. I'm getting better at Call of Duty, so that's something. My son has convinced me to join the TikTok world, and
no.
I did. He's persuasive, and we did a couple of funny videos. He directed one, so. I hate TikTok, but right. I am proud that he is evolving into this writer, producer, director kind of thing. Cool. He actually directed 2. One he was in, one he was not in. So, and it brought the family together. So I was like, okay.
Well, it's the Woody Allen approach. He'll do one where he's in it, and he'll do one where he's not in it, and somebody's playing him. If you put your kid in a Woody Allen hat and glasses and stuff,
it'll be perfect. But yeah, we are all stretching our creative ways. So
yeah, it's a good time if you're a creative person to work on projects. I know a lot of folks are.
Yes.
Yes. Jack just threw the Young Robin Hood up there. Of course, that's on Comixology right now.
Yes.
Look it up.
How did I almost forget to bring that up? Oh my God, yes, such a great thing for you. I know you're excited and over the moon for it.
Oh, let's forget about being excited. Jack was like, hey, we need to figure out how Comixology works. Can we use Young Robin Hood as a guinea pig? Yeah, sure. Just go ahead and throw it up there. So that was how that conversation happened. And so far, so good, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. There's
content.
There's a link. Issues with threw a link up there in the chat if you want to go check out the Young Robin Hood. It's a $1.99 on digital on Comixology. So that's good. And so I'm working on projects. You're working on projects. We got interviews coming up with some folks. I've done a couple. I know you got some lined up as well. So every Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah.
But yes, content. I'm on YouTube. Yeah. I'm on Twitter, Twitch. I'm on Instagram, uploading little clips. I'm on TikTok. I say that one low. I'm like, I'm on.
Go find Kat in all those places. And occasionally I'm on Twitter saying rude things to the president and just waiting for the Secret Service to come visit. Yeah. But I actually don't need that, because apparently the Secret Service all has COVID-19.
Oh, don't even worry about it. They're not going to find you. They're going to find me. That's a terrible joke. I'm sorry.
That is terrible.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, be careful.
I couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's a mad world.
It is.
But we'll keep producing content. And tell them, where's the best place to find you when you're not on here, Kat?
Oh Lord Jesus. Twitch.tv/TheHighHeeledGamer. Twitch.tv/NachoFriends. And Instagram.
I've heard about that. Nacho Friends.
Yeah. So I'm on. Just Google me, The High Heeled Gamer, all one word. The High Heeled Gamer, all one word.
There it is.
So,
and here,
issues with the breakdown.
Check out Mixed Media Live as well.
Yes.
Kind of a branch of Issues With. We've got Saturday morning cartoons. We've got serials, the old 1930s movie serials. Green Hornet and Flash Gordon episodes.
I'm excited.
We got some cool stuff going on. So we're working on some projects. We'll be sharing more information with you as that goes along. Eat Your Cereal. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Eat Your Cereal.
Green Hornet, Captain Marvel, a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, Jack has been doing a great job finding public domain episodes and cartoons and things like that. And
for once, I can't knock Jack. Like for once, I have to give him his due praise.
He's done a good job, and so far, no cease and desist orders have arrived. So we're going to continue doing just that.
I'm excited. So,
and these, by the way, he's upscaling the video on these. Like these are not.
Yeah.
He's doing production work to make them look better and improve the quality of them. So this is something really cool. Lock him in his basement for a couple months and see what you get out of him. It's just amazing.
He's behind the wall over here, chained to the wall.
Yeah.
So
in a mask like a gimp. Yeah. There he is. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now we'll put back the gimp. All right. So check us out here next week. I'll let you sign off, Kat.
Okay, cool. It was nice talking to you, John.
Good to be with you again. We'll have to do this again at some point.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. We can hold up comic books as proof of life. It's like this came out, so everybody knows that this is live, this is real.
Yeah, 100%. Well, as always, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. You know where to find us. Issues with the show or issues with show. .com. I swear. God, Jack, I will get it. Issueswithshow.com. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Follow us. Content. Stay safe, everybody, and see you guys next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.